Hey you guys, it's Mary from SVG Cuts, and today I just finished making a cute set of boy bears, and I wanted to take the cowboy bear and make a cute card out of it. So I used the cowboy boot freebie that we have on our blog from a couple months ago, and I turned that into a card, and I'm going to put the bear on the front of it. And for the envelope, I used a couple of cute cowboy papers from this All About Boys stack by DCWV. And I used a lot of different browns, so I used mostly browns from this, well, all browns from this AC Cardstock Neutrals collection. And I also busted out a couple of textures and finishes from this stack that I had laying around, and also just one piece of paper from this guy stack. So I've also got a couple of tips and tricks up my sleeve to show you, so let's get started putting it together. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces cut out and laid out here. And I wanted to run some ink around the edge of this card, but I noticed that this side is kind of rough. So I just grabbed this piece of sandpaper that I've had in my craft room for like years now, and I smoothed it out, which makes it a little nicer when I rub the ink on it. It's optional, but makes it a little nicer. So I'm going to rub the brown ink around the edges of this. And this wood patterned paper is from the DCWV All About Boys stack. Okay, now I am going to use this piece, but I wanted to show you guys how at first I cut out this because I thought it would look nice, and it kind of does, and I think if this card was just by itself with nothing else on it, maybe that would work. But since I'm going to put the bear on it, I think this is too different from this paper, too much contrast, so it just sticks out too much. So I'm going to toss that. I'm going to use this instead because you can still see the pattern on there, but it's not too distracting, which is perfect. So I'll just glue this on. And I always put my glue on pretty messy. I'm sure you do too. There's no like science to it. I'm sure if I wanted to take my time more I could, but it's all good. So I'll just put that in place. And I thought it'd be fun, since cowboy stuff sometimes it has some rhinestones and stuff on it, but instead of just your traditional sticky bling, I busted out these fun little stickers by, who are they by? I forget. Stampendous. I got them at Archivers. It's actually twice as long as this. It comes on a sheet that's longer. And I already had them in red. So I thought, since there's a little bit of red in this design, so I thought that would go together well instead of the traditional like silver color. And those are actually two different sizes, which is not what I planned on doing, but I think it's fine. So there we go. Okay. And you could peel those off with your fingers, but it's just easier to use the X-Acto knife. Okay, so that's my card base, and let's put together the cute little bear. First, I already glued together the top two layers of his hat, and I could kind of tilt it to the side for some attitude, but I think I'll just do it straight. So just put a little glue here. There we go. And then this is the back part of his hat, which goes behind his head. And I just realized I think it's too far down, so I'm gonna scooch it up a little bit and just wipe that glue off. Okay, it's a little better. I think I would still go a little higher maybe, but it's fine. So we'll put some glue there. And I'll just line up the front with the back here and glue that down. Okay, now for his little bandana. These pieces are kind of small, so I'm going to use my little tweezer bees that my friend Marcy sent me. It just makes it easier to hold on to it while I put glue, and also while I position it just so. Now this little bandana piece has a little bit of texture. I cut that out from the textures and finishes. Let's actually put his belt on next because I kind of want his belt to be underneath the bandana, even though it doesn't really matter. Or I guess if the belt is on top, that's fine too. We'll just leave it like that. I'm going to use these tweezer beads to get that glue off of there. Even though it dries clear, you can kind of still see it. And his cute little cowboy boots. I'm not going to go too far to the edge with the glue because his feet are smaller than the boots. Okay. And I thought about embossing the boots because a lot of times cowboy boots have like a cool texture on the side, but these are just such tiny pieces that I could totally emboss them, but I think any pattern that I have would get lost on them. So I'm just going to leave them how they are. Same with really everything else. I could have embossed the hat, but pretty much any folder that I have was going to get lost on there. Okay, so I would like him to be 3D a little bit because since it's all brown, it kind of gets lost altogether. So I'm going to get my 3D Zats out, and I am going to put a dot here and here. So here and here. Okay, that totally works. And now let's not forget his little nose, which these are perfect for. Thanks again, Marcy. Just a little bit of glue. And this nose, you might be tempted to put his nose up higher, which is still cute, but put it down like real low, and it's just even cuter, I think. Whoops. As I smear the glue everywhere. So I'm going to hold that in place while I wipe off the glue. Kind of like if you've ever had your nails done at a salon, they kind of, if they screw up, they just take like a file or something and they just wipe it off. That's what it makes me think of. Okay, now here's the part where I'm going to draw his little eyes on with my marker, which is kind of drying out, so let's hope that it still works. So I want the eyes to be just barely above where his nose is and also very close to the edge. So right about here is totally cute. Just draw an oval, and then I just want to make sure that it's in the same place on the other side. So right here. I could get a ruler to be more careful, but there we go. That works. That works just fine. Now I'll take his little lasso, and that's a cute little finishing touch. So I'm going to need to put the glue here and here. And even if I didn't, it'll dry. It'll dry and it'll be fine. So we'll put that there. And that totally works. Now I'm going to let that dry some more while I put together my envelope. And these are the cute papers that I used from the All About Boys stack, which is really cute, but most people are not going to save their envelopes, so if you just want to use plain paper, that is absolutely fine. Now I could use glue to put this together, but I'm feeling the ATG gun for this part here. And then I'm going to put this part on first. And there we go. So if you want to make this card yourself, just visit our blog at svgcuts.com/blog and do a search for Cute Cowboy Teddy Card, and you'll see all the different sizes and shapes that I used. And one more thing, I also used a stamp on the back. I'm going to write my name underneath here, and that's a Pink by Design stamp. I used Sure Cuts a Lot to bring in the boot shape. And then in Sure Cuts a Lot, I made a copy of it and I flipped it over, and then I put them together and I clicked on weld with both of them selected. So if you need a video on how to weld something, you can also check out our blog for more directions on that. Alright, so thanks for watching my video. That's it. I hope you had fun and happy crafting. Bye.